Taylor again in Gadsden. Hi, Veronica. Proud of me. But I just want to tell you that I love you guys. I'm sorry for all the things that you go through, and I'm sorry that people doubt. And I understand. I mean, just even talking to people about it, being so close is ridiculous. And people that are religious are even worse. They don't even want to hear. Family don't want to hear. They think you're absolutely crazy. So you're trying to save them, you're trying to, because you love them and you talk. You want to help, and you want to help the progress of everybody. Well, they don't want to listen. Everybody telling you, well, we're going to be caught up in the. We're not going to be here for the tribulation. We're going to be caught up and go with Jesus in the air. And so I'm saying, well, that part I'm new, so I don't know anything about it. That part. Could you give me, some type of information on, as far as people, is that going to be part of this?
Let me tell you something, my beloved Veronica. That they're talking about is not written in nobody's book anywhere. Nowhere is that written. Nowhere is that written. That in which they're talking about may have been featured once upon a time, and no offense, but it may have been on the T.D. Jakes show, or perhaps maybe Oral Roberts show, or maybe Billy Graham's show, who knows. They may have even featured it on John Hagee, but I can tell you it's not written in anybody's book about no rapture going nowhere. So I need you to understand that my Father has told them in Revelation's 21st chapter. I need you to read that. He says that John himself said, behold, I looked and I saw in the heavens, and it was coming down from heaven. He said the new heaven and the new earth, and was right here on this earth. Now, I would have to say this to you. Based upon knowing that alone, reading the 21st chapter of Revelation, where there's a new heaven and a new earth coming down out of the heaven from God, I would ask you the question, if you even deem yourself to be the greatest preacher or the greatest minister or the greatest so-called church-going person in the world, why would you leave something that my Father's sending you 2 new ones down? Why would you leave it just to be raptured to a place you never heard of before?
Right. Then they're saying that they're going to come down back with Jesus Christ to help rule and reign, in new bodies.
The word has already told them that he would be here already. It even told them for not everyone would have sleep when he returns. Now, I don't know what part they thinking. I don't think they're going to be wide awake when they go and get raptured on this sky. I don't know what they're riding on. Are they riding on a cloud? Or are they riding on a bus? Or are they going to plan on taking United Airlines? I wouldn't advise that right now, because it looks like even the leader of it is calling himself. He's calling it quits. And all he wanted as he began to quit was to have him something that he known as flight forever and keep his parking spot forever. So it don't seem like he even worried about flying nowhere off to no cap. So I would say to those people that are talking that they might want to talk reality and talk truth, and not talk about a dream and hope in which they've been sold by some man who they actually paid him for it.
No, I mean, that's what I'm constantly encountering. I mean, for everybody that's totally entrenched in, I mean, they're saying, they totally believe in the Bible, and they believe, which I do too.
They better believe in it. They better understand that it also told them in the Bible, so as it was during the time of Noah, so shall it be when the return of the one whom they keep calling Jesus the Christ, Yahoshua Mashiach. That is his name, Yahoshua. If they want to keep saying that, this is what I need them to understand. That if they believe everything that they read in the book, then perhaps I'll let them tell it there's only going to be 8 people saved, and they'll be with Noah. Noah will be one of the 8, if they truly believe in the book in which they're reading. Other than that, you tell them, stop playing games with themselves. The book is real. They either believe it or they don't. But for them to read the book and tell me another story, I'm very questionable about people like that. Those are the same people that would give me a recipe to a cake and tell me to leave the eggs out. It might taste a little better without eggs. I'm not trying to hear from them.
So we're to call Jesus Mashiach?
His name is Yahoshua Mashiach.
Yahoshua Mashiach.
Yahoshua Mashiach. Some call him Yeshua. All those names, I do not care what the people call him, based on the fact that it tells them that he had many names. The only thing I do is to make sure that they know his true name, and they will find that in Psalm 68 and 4. Saying to him who rides up on the clouds by his name, Yah. And in there, you will find in the old King James Version of the Bible, they actually spelled it with a J, J-A-H. In the new King James Version of the Bible, they corrected it to a Y-A-H. Saying to him who rides upon the clouds by his name, Yah. Psalms 68 and 4. And that name can be found throughout the Bible. And if you go and get one of those Bibles who has a real annotation in it and find the book of Exodus, 6th chapter, you begin to read the 6th chapter of Exodus, verses 1 through 4. It would tell you that even Noah and Moses, all of those guys, it says all of the people back then that were spiritual people, and it's particularly talking about Moses. It says, for Moses at that time did not know him by his real name, which was God Almighty. YHWH means God Almighty. Lord, L-O-R-D. So when you read those scriptures, read them for yourself. Do not go and get somebody's commentary. Do not stop by and ask your minister. He's too busy studying for Sunday's sermon. He is not going to tell you everything you need to know about reading it yourself. Exodus 6th chapter, verses 1 through 4. You will find out that even Moses didn't know him by his real name. And then you go and read the book of Psalms 68 and 4. And you will realize that it tells you his name. And then throughout the book of Isaiah, you will find Isaiah constantly telling you what his name was.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. 615, your line is open.
Hey, how you doing? Peace, love, truth, freedom, justice, one heart, one mind, one spirit. First, I want to give an honor to Yah. You know what I'm saying? That one that's in Psalm 68, verse 4. I want to just thank him for giving me the strength and ability to open my eyes and see the truth. I also want to thank you, Shelly, and I also want to thank Dr. Hindu, and as well as everybody who's doing things, people like KJ. I want to thank all y'all for what y'all doing for the universal people. My name is Robert. I'm from Nashville, and I just left Texas not too long ago, about 2 months, Dr. Henderson, and I talked to you, I was just explaining to you about my father, you know, him being a minister and everything. It's crazy. Every time, you know, through the weeks, every time I have something on my mind or if I'm researching, every time the call comes, you always talk about it. I mean, you hit it right on the nail ever since I've been on the call since April. And I remember you was telling me when I was back in Texas, and I was telling you about my father and all the religious institutions he went to and everything, and he was telling me how, you know, it'd be hard to go to my father and address this type of truth to him, you know, like the U.S. 501c3, stuff like that, because my father, he didn't even ever heard of it. And he was telling me how, you know, he might take it a different way because of, you know, all the lectures he's been through, and by him being on the pulpit for so many years, and, you know, me not being on the pulpit, and by me knowing this information, he was telling me he wouldn't take it right. He would feel like I was stepping on his toes. And, you know, Dr. Henderson, I had to talk with him like just last week. I just opened up, and it was just on my heart to say, well, I need to just ask him about it, or just say something to him, because he's my daddy, is what you were saying. Your daddy, you know, my heavenly father is my heavenly father, so I'm going to just call him my daddy. So I kind of want to go in there and say, you know, talk to my daddy about the situation. And everything that you said, I mean, it happened. And it got to the point, Doc, where I couldn't finish the conversation with him, because I remember the last thing he told me was, okay, son, I understand everything, what you're saying, and everything, and you're getting the truth and everything, but I want to just ask you one question. And I was like, okay, yeah, what's up, Dad? He was like, do you believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for you? Do you believe that? And I told, you know, I just told him what I learned. I said, Jesus Christ, that's a system. If you want to say who died on the cross for me or who saved me, Yahoshua Mashiach, am I saying it right? Hello?
You remember. Okay. You said it correctly.
Okay, so I was telling him that, and he just kind of gave me a strange look. So, and then I also got to talking about, you know, bringing the ties back to the storehouse. You know, I got respect for all your friends, y'all being preachers and everything, but, you know, Dad, I love you, and, you know, I see you on that pulpit, you know, and, you know, y'all get up there, and y'all do say that verse, Malachi, will a man rob God? Yes, he robbed me in tithes and offering. And it was one time, Doc, I don't even go to church anymore, and one simple fact, I didn't go to church because I was in the church, and when offering time came, he said that verse, and then turned around and called the church members God robbers. And I was just like, oh, I got to make a U-turn. I'm not feeling that. So, you know, I kind of trying to get to my dad to let him know, man, you a man of Yah, but you got to be in the right place. You up under these other dudes they not doing the doctrine right. So I want to thank you for preparing me, you know, to talk to him, because I don't believe, if I wouldn't have never came to you, Dr. Henderson, and I just came to him like that, I probably, me and my dad probably wouldn't have a relation right now. So I want to thank you for giving me that prehistory on how your father. So that lets me know you the truth. So I just want to say that, and then I got one question. I was just reading about, the tribe of Judah. I've been here lately. I've been trying to get into Israel, the true Israel, the 12 tribes, and I'm ready, and I'm gonna wait and be patient to find out what my RNA is. I believe I'm from Judah. I read a lot about the tribe of Judah. I read the Testament of Judah. So I always, every time I get to reading like that, I always got to go back and say I got to get my final word from Doc Hindu. Regardless of anything I do, I always try to get my word, because even my own father, by him being a man of God, I can't go to him. I can't go to his friends. I just don't. So I come to you, because everything that you say is the truth. Sometimes it'd be so much information for me, it'd be mind-boggling. So my question is, can you just elaborate on the history, or I would say the tribe of Judah? Can you just elaborate for me? Because I believe that's what I am, but I just don't know.
I want to make sure that I give you all the information that you're asking for. So what will happen is that I do have your number, correct?
Yes, you do.
I'm going to make sure I call you. And I want you to always remember, as I told you before when we were speaking together, I want you to make sure, because of who your daddy is on this earth to you, that you always remain respectful. We did speak to that, right?
Yes, we did.
I'm pretty sure that's what kept your conversation in the manner that it did, because I do believe that you are one of the most respectful gentlemen, young men that I've met in a long time. You have a lot of respect, and I have to say that to you. I appreciate that. I respect that of you, that you are one of those young men that knows what respect is all about, and you have been a very honorable son. Just to not even mention to him until you could find the right time to speak to him. And I would say to you, always remain humble. Humble is our Father's greatest tool for mankind. And remember, at the end of the day, that's what makes us be our Father's son. That's what makes us be the true Hebrew Israelites. That's what makes the tribe of Judah. It's not always about a bloodline, but it's a way of life. It's a way of life. Hebrew Israelite is a way of life, not just a name, not just someone that wants to go and get their RNA and DNA, but it's a way of life. And I do believe that you are truly of the old tribe, and especially the tribe of Judah, because the majority of them are right here in America. And I do believe that you are of the tribe of Judah, and I would say to you, just your way of life says that for you alone. And I do believe your RNA and DNA will also prove that to you as well. So I would say to you, stay humble, stay respectful, and my Father will guide you far as you could see. And that is from the east to the west, and the north is from the south. That will also be a treasure for you in all those locations as well. I would say thank you now. Nightfall.
Thank you, Doc. Peace, love, truth, freedom, and justice. One heart, one mind, one spirit, and big shouts out to Father Yah.
Thank you, little brother. 252, your line's open.
Peace, family. My name is Queen Janine, and thank you all for receiving me this night. I am so happy. I am so full. I was just laying down a few minutes ago because I've just been so full about everything that's happening. And I just set up a few minutes ago and said I was going to be next. And I have a lot going on in my life. I'm from North Carolina, and I've been faced with a whole lot. And my son is locked up in prison for a crime that he didn't do. He's in Bertie County. He was set up by the Rocky Mount Police Department. I don't mind saying it. I've been shot at several times, and they won't do anything. It's just a lot that's going on in my life, and I don't want to take up a lot of time because I know there's so many people here. But I just want to come here and share that I love you all, and I thank you for receiving me this day. And I'm so happy for living at this time. This is a time that we should be happy, enjoying, not paying a lot of attention to some of the devastation that's going to go on. I've always looked at the big picture and not get caught up into the little things. And I always use the tools that was given to me from the Father of the universe. Say when the cries reach to heaven, he will send a messenger and a message. And all our cries, all the nations of the world is crying now. So I know we at the right time. I've asked the spirits, was the doctor here for us? And they said yes. I I don't get involved with anything unless I pray over it, I meditate over it. And I've been not been able to sleep for the last couple of days. And I didn't know whether it was something good or something that was going to be devastating. So I went and asked the spirits. I asked the Father, was it going to be good? He said, yes. I stopped. And I found you all. Everything was just set in motion. I've been traveling a long time, striving to find a home. I've been fighting a fight by myself for a long time. So a lot have happened in my life. But I have never given up. I have stayed there, and I'm still here. And I just want to share my love with you all and ask for your continuous love and prayer to me and my family. And as I came in peace, I'm leaving in peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Outstanding. I got that, Shelley, and I will connect. I will contact and connect with her. I want her to hear something. I want her to hear something because this comes from Psalm 68 and 4. I want her to understand that for her, I want her to always pay attention to 3, 4, and 5 of that. 3 says, but let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. The 4th says, sing unto God. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah. By his name, Yah. Let them exceedingly rejoice.
Thank you.
I need you to understand that 5th one would be even greater for you, my beloved, because he says, a father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. He's all of that and more. I would tell you that you already had a home, and now that you know his real name, now that you know him by his true name, I guarantee you that when you call upon the name of Yah, you're going to see things begin to happen that has never, ever happened before. I do hear your spirit, and I know that spirit has been strong for a long time. I can tell you that spirit is going to even become even stronger. And this is what makes us be who we are in our Father Yah. We are those that are true believers. We don't waste our time just going out looking for fairy tales or easy things to just find ourselves playing around with. We always look for concrete evidence in everything. That's based upon the fact that our Father says that a house that is built upon a strong foundation, it will stand. And because of that, we are forever trying to make sure that when we build our house or whenever we camp out somewhere, that we're doing it upon a strong foundation. And I understand that is what you've been doing. So I would tell you, welcome to a strong foundation.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
832, your line's open. 832. Can you hear me? 832. Hello? All right, brother, I'm going on to the next one. 313, your line is open.
Peace, love, truth, freedom, and justice. How you doing, Shelley, and how you doing, Dr. Anderson?
Good to hear your voice. How you doing?
And Malcolm from Detroit again.
I know.
I just like my brother, Dr. Anderson. I be on the call listening. I may not call in sometime, but when I do get a chance to call in, I'm happy to be on the line. But I want to reiterate what Dr. Henderson said last Friday, when I asked him the question about the Armageddon. I already knew the Armageddon was already starting because you could see the wars and the rumors of wars from nations all around. And when you had said on the Wednesday UN call, you had said it before I even seen this on the news, that it's going to be refugees coming to the United States. And right after you said that, I was watching CNN, and it came across on below the screen that Obama the U.S. will be bringing in 10,000 refugees. Well, it's going to be more than that because it's getting bad. This is just the beginning of Armageddon. Like I was telling the brother that I talked to when he was asking me about that. I said, you can see, they're showing it right to you on your face in front of the TV. Look at all the people around the world trying to lead their country because it's wars right behind wars right behind wars. And I was looking at Congress today when they was voting on that relieving sanctions for Iran and that other one that it was two things that they was talking about Iran, which both of them didn't pass. But I'm looking at one of the congressmen, and he's steadily talking about going to war. The people are tired of this war because we're not getting nothing out of it. And like I've been saying, people just have to keep thinking y'all know who he is, know his name, the real name that he wants you to call him by. Because we've been calling him by all different names. Now he's ready for you to call him by his real and true name. And some people that's in the church, I learned this a long time ago. Most of your preachers are not telling you the truth. What they're doing, they pulling you into the pit. That's why they call it a pulpit. They want you to go with them.
Watch yourself, Malcolm. Go ahead, though.
Which is what, like Dr. Henderson said, when he said the earth will open up in the pit. The pit of fire is in that hole. So you think about when the preachers is talking about coming to the pulpit to forgive all your sins. They aren't doing that but pulling you into the pit. But you don't want to go there. I've been in church. I've been a deacon. I've seen so much stuff going on in the church. That's why I had left. And I just start questioning some of the preachers about what they're doing. They just don't want to hear it. So my eyes has already been open. I'm always telling y'all when I get ready to leave the house, I always pray to y'all to watch over me, make sure I get there safely, come back home safely. If I'm taking some elderlies out, I want to make sure they get to where they're going safely and get them back home safely. Then let me come home safe. And you know that works.
Yes.
Hey, Malcolm. I'm hearing you. See, being close to the South, we used to hear the old brothers that were in the church on Saturday nights. They would be outside having what they call a good time, and they would be talking about the quiet stand rather than the choir stand, and they would be talking about the pulpit that they call the pulpit, where you get pulled into the pit. And at the same time, they would say that if you wasn't pulled in right, they would put you in the quiet stand. Not the choir stand, but the quiet stand. So they have you standing there quiet until the next time they get ready to pull you into the pit. So I hear you. I understand. I'm already with you. I just need us to get the other brothers and sisters that are out there that's being pulled to the pulpit. And those that are now sitting back there, that's humming those songs in the quiet stand, or the choir stand, they call it, known as the quiet stand. Most of the time they will find themselves doing more standing quiet, waiting for the conductor to start the next song than they would be singing. And they right there behind the pulpit. So I would say to them, listen to my brother Malcolm's voice on that one, because I know that he got that one correct.
All right. It's nice being on the call. And remember, whenever y'all on the call, I'm always there. I may not be able to get in, but I'm always on the call. I never left y'all, and ain't planning on leaving. So,
well,
with that said,
your voice.
Well, with that said, nightfall, family. Peace, love, truth, and freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Malcolm. 404, your line's open.
Hello. Yes, Shelley. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Jillian calling. I didn't get to answer my question before. I was trying to help out. Hold on.
Jillian?
Could you hear me now? I had to take off the volume. It kept having an echo.
Yes, we hear you clearly now.
Okay, good. I have some short questions. The first one I have is that I was thinking about, I've always been, really close because I'm the only girl for my father. And one of the things before I got married, I never got to dance with my father. And every time the song comes on, dance with my father again, I always seem to cry. But it's not a sad cry, it's a happy cry. And I was wondering, I know probably I'll meet him again another time, but not only him, my baby brother, I'd like to be with them one more time, just to see them one more time.
Very soon.
And I talk to them. And I talk to them every day. I talk to them just like they've never left me. Everybody that I love. Now, the other question is that I've been doing so much with my home. And the other thing I noticed just recently, the whole front of the area of the home and the side area of the home, I noticed I went down there and everything was mold. There was mold everywhere. And it's so much for me by myself to try to clean and do what, I don't know what I should do. So I was trying to get an answer from you for that, because I just submitted papers to the mortgage company, so I don't know what's going to happen. But if it does get to the point where, you know, they may say, well, we probably have to condemn it, or that my question is, what should I do? And then the last thing is that I have some projects that I've been working on, and I've been trying to get, and I've been talking to people, getting them involved to get like a community group effort thing, to get to talk to, especially the young women, bringing new life into the world, to tell them what's going on. Some of them understand, some of them don't understand, but also to enlighten people. I understand that everybody is going to take what I have to say, so what I do is just give the information. If it's taken, then they move on it. If not, I just move on. And I would deal after those 3 questions.
Outstanding, that's great. Your first question is, I can tell you that everything, small and great, will be getting up again. They will be coming before the Father for judgment. I can assure you that everyone will be present. Everyone will speak those things. There is no doubt about it. You will be able to see them because they will see you. You know, what everyone has to understand is that with my Father, you will be able to see everything clearly. It is not like things are going to be far off, or it's not going to be like you're in a country where you can't see the other people in the country, because we're going to be right here on this universe, on this earth. And when He's going to give us that vision that we'll all be able to see everything at one time. That's why He says, he who has eyes, let him see, and he who has ears, let him hear. Because you'll be able to see and hear those things. So they will be present, and you will be able to speak to them again. That's a fact coming straight out of my Father's mouth. And you're talking about your projects that you want to put together. Your projects, put them together. Don't worry about the people that still you haven't been able to reach, because you have reached those that you need to reach. And as I say, even if you stop right now, I guarantee you that your job would be greatly accomplished based upon man's ability to reach out for others. Your job will be more greatly accomplished than Noah himself, because remember, Noah only saved himself and 7 others. And I do believe that you have saved more than 7 people. I do believe that you got more than 7 people listening to you right now. They will get on the boat with you. And third, with those things that you have, that you're trying to figure out what do you do with them, I'm going to tell you, hold on to them for just a little while longer here, because you're going to be able to share them with others. You're going to be able, like I said earlier, as you are moving up, you're going to be able to reach down and pull those that are still below you up with you. Remember, everybody's going to be on an equal plane. And when you reach down to pull them up with you, that means that they'll be equal to you. And they're going to reach down and grab the person next to them, and they're going to pull them up, and they're going to be equal to them. And when we look around, we're going to realize that all of us, just as we have been saying, that all men were created equal, and that they were endowed by this unalienable right and this inalienable right, whichever word they have been playing on, that we were created equal by this God, by this nature, and this nature's God, to do these things. To be equal on this playing field, to be equal on this here base of what we call this business that we're going through, to be equal on this thing in which we're calling life. We will all be equal, and we'll be able to share with one another on that accord. This is what we're doing, and remember Zephaniah 3 and 9. Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, Zephaniah, the 9th verse says that, and at that time, everyone will be given a pure language, a language in which he and she will be able to call upon the name of God on one accord. I can assure you that that name will be YHWH, and I can assure you as well, with no doubt, that language will be the same language in which he used from the cross when he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. I do believe that that language, for those that understand true, pure Hebrew, that is the Hebrew language, not the Yiddish form, but I say the true, pure Hebrew language. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. And he was saying, Father, do not forsake me. Do not forget that I'm here. I'm waiting for you. I know that you're going to return. And he's still here with you now as we speak, waiting, because he knows that the Father right now is here. And he's doing everything that he said he was going to do. And the wait now is no longer to wait, but it's just to watch what I'm doing. And that is what we're doing now. So we love you, beloved. You do what it is that you're doing now. And my Father, he got you.
Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, family. This is Steve.
Of course.
Are you still down in Nevis?
Yes, I am. I'm sitting out here. I'm doing what you call sky watching. In the middle of my island, I'm sitting right looking at the volcano and talking about. And I'm not far from Puerto Rico, and talking about the stars falling from the sky. I know I'm at ground zero, but I tell you, my heart, I feel like one day I feel like I ain't got no sense enough to be afraid of it. But in my heart, I'm so angry. I mean, not angry. I would say disgusted at the way religion has turned our people into, and I hate to say it, babbling idiots. I mean, you have to have no sense to believe some of the doctrine that they're being taught, and for them to believe it. I have a lot of family and loved ones that are involved in Christianity and religion, and I just came from America, and I tried to talk to them, and it made, I mean, I was just so angry with the way they have been misled down this path, down straight to the pit. I mean, I just got to a point, I just don't know, I can't stand to be around it. I can't stand to hear about it because it just makes no sense to me. And that's why I'm saying I'm down here. I may be at ground zero right now, and I'd be glad to see it happen. I'd be glad to see the stars fall from the sky to wake these people up, to wake up the world to the nonsense that they've been under all these years and the suffering that we've been under all these years. But this has been a good call tonight. And Dr. Henderson, I relate so much to what you're saying, especially when it comes to some of the things you talk about death. And I believe the same thing. I don't believe in death. I believe death is a state of mind, and the fact is that we die every night, every time we go to sleep. And the fact is that we are renewed every 7 years. Every cell in our body dies, and a new cell is born. Every 7 years, we're a new person. And these are biological, scientific facts that there is no death. And I never believed in it. But the fact is, Dr. Henderson, I used to say the same thing to people, and people used to think I was crazy. And when I hear it from you, you just confirm that that I must be in touch with the Spirit, because I always felt that way all my life. I just wanted to say, I listen to the shows every time, the call-ins, and so many questions that pop up, and so many things that basically I get confirmation more than anything else out of it. And I feel so. It's been a good show tonight. A good call-in tonight.
Thank you, Steve. You keep us posted on what's going on, okay?
Well, like I say, I'm a sky watcher. I was down here when Hell Bop came through. I was in the States when Hell Bop first showed up in '97. Then I got back down to the islands here again, and I was able to see it from here. I've been down here. I've seen volcanic eruptions. There's an island right next to me that erupted, Montserrat. I've seen what can be done, what can happen, and I'm looking forward to it. I feel happy that this is the time now.
You'll be fine, Steve. Believe it or not, you are a true believer. And as I was speaking earlier this morning, I told them, you have to realize to be a believer, you can live right on top of those things. They will pick up, they will move around you, and they will go to find or to seek that which do not believe to destroy. That in which believe is going to go around you. It's going to skip over you because you are a true believer. You'll be just fine. And again, if they had listened to a man that they called him Gandhi, he told them that life and death, he said, were the same. He said they were only a difference in one is one that you're in recognition of what's happening, and the other one you're not in recognition of what's happening. But at the same time, he said, if you're not in recognition of something, then how do you know that it ever took place?
So true.
That was a good question for him, man. So I can tell him that I do believe that Gandhi, just as everyone else, will be back here very shortly. And I guarantee you that he will be stating his case once again to the world, that he told them that you will always live. And there is nothing that is called death, because death is nothing more than life. Those that find themselves on the opposite side of life, where they will not return, they will be alive, and they will be tormented in something that is known as the bottomless pit. They know what it tells them. That will be everlasting death. That everlasting death will be clashing of teeth. You will hear one crying and screaming, but he will forever be dying, for there will be no dying. Remember, my father, they said he went to the grave. They said he climbed in, and as he got in, they said he stepped out on the other side in what we call Hades. And not only
did he take the keys from the one in whom they keep calling Satan, but he also took the sting out of anything that they could call death. And just for knowing that, if you believe in him, it says even if a man could die, yet shall he live. Thereby, there is no death, not in Yah, only life. This, we can assure ourselves.
I can say the system we live under is hell on earth. I don't see anything about living in this system here. It's not living. We are surviving. This is no system to live in. So if you want to say about dead, we are dead in this hell that we've been living under for the last 800 years or longer. So I would welcome death to get away from this. Be honest.
Well, the whole system's changing. Father's changing everything.
We all find to him. And Shell, you have to remember that I explained that I think I used to say that every now and then, and a few of the calls back that I would do, I would let them know that I once stayed on the Indian reservation. I stayed there with a friend of mine. You know him, Shelly. I think we found him, Alfred Littlehead. And we called him an Indian just because of his name, Alfred Littlehead. He was one of the Red Brothers of the world. But I stayed on the reservation with he and 4 of his family members once upon a time. One was his grandfather. His grandfather was way in age. He would have been close to 100. And I remember him asking me the question, was I religious or was I spiritual? And at that moment, I told him that I was spiritual. And he told me that we must sit down and eat because he knows for a fact that we were brothers and that the meal was going to get cold if we didn't. And as he began to sit there, he explained to me that there's only truly 2 people or kind of people on this planet. He said one is religious and the other one is spiritual. He said those that are religious people are those who are afraid to go to hell. And he said and those who are spiritual are those who have lived and been to hell many times and they do not want to ever return there. That day I realized that, as he had said, I was truly spiritual rather than religious. I can say to Steve that I do think that all of the people that are out there that's religious with those people that they consider themselves to be religious fanatics are those people that are afraid to go to hell. That's why they come up with all of those great things they be saying. They need to realize that if they're spiritual, they have been living in hell all of their life, and that is one place we will never have to worry about going to because we are the righteous and we will live forever.
I'm looking forward to
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Steve.
peace, love, truth, freedom, and justice.
Thank you, brother.
Love you guys.
Love you, too. Well, brother, it's that time of the evening. It sure went fast, didn't it?
It always do when you're having fun. That's one of those man sayings, right? I love it. You know, sis, as we move forward in this, we need to get ourselves gathered up now to be able to hold hands with our brothers and sisters. We are going to have to hold hands across this universe. I remember I spoke a few calls back. I was talking about the man in the mirror. I also know that that same individual was dealing with something that they were talking about. We are the world. We all are his children. And all that we all trying to do as his children is make this world a better place. Not just for myself, but for you and me. I do know for a fact that that person will return again, as I said. I favor them because Michael is a true angel. It's an angel in which I know him to be the angel that will help fight the battle. I know he is the leader of the one that we call the angels that will destroy the evil and wickedness. He is the leader of the army, Michael. He is the angel that will destroy all of the wicked, to include the evil angels. Michael will be the battle warrior that will be leading that battle group of people. So I say to them, based on the fact of being one of the warriors, I'm the one in the back. I'm the nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. I just know my job. I know my job at the end of the day is not to lead the battle. I know my job is not to be halfway in the battle. I know my job as being at the tail end of the battle is for one reason, that my Father will soon, he will stand. He will look at me, and he will say, Abraham, Yishak, Yaakov, Wahuda. I need you to do what I told you to do. And I will gently get up off my seat. I will walk to the end of the house, and I will close the door. This is what I will do. So until he tells me to close the door, I'm going to keep it open and at the same time usher everyone who wants to get in. That is known as the Redeemer, to make sure that all mankind get in. Because once my Father tells me to close the door, I must close the door, and there will be no more opening. So until then, let me keep ushering the people in as the Redeemer. Hurry up. Come on, come one, come all. Come inside of the house. Because once my Father tells me to close the door, I will close the door. And what my Father has told me to close, he would have been the one that commanded it. And once he closes it, no man can open it. So until then, I would say to you, love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. I would say to you, because we're all one mind, one heart, one spirit, hurry up. Let's get everyone in before the door closes. And until the next time we speak, when we are vastly working hard together to keep the doors open and get the people in. Good night, fall.
Thank you, brother, and thank you, everyone, for being on the call with us this evening. We look forward to being with you again next Friday night. And as always, we leave you with John 17, 14 through 17. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. Have a great week, everyone. Until next time.